The Relic's Price. The alleys of Drenver reeked of salt and rot. The city's pulse a mix of tavern songs and dockside shouts. Syl, a thief of 22, slipped through the shadows, her cloak blending with the night. In a world where magic was hoarded by priests and nobles, survival meant taking what wasn't yours. Tonight, her mark was the Temple of the Tide, its vault stuffed with relics the priests called holy. Syl called them prophet. She'd cased the temple for weeks. The relic, a fist-sized orb of smoked glass, was said to hum with power. A fence in the docks promised a fortune for it, enough to buy her way out of Drenver's filth. Syl scaled the temple's outer wall, her fingers finding cracks in the weathered stone. Inside, the air was thick with incense, the silence broken only by the drip of seawater from sacred fonts. The orb sat on a pedestal, glowing faintly, like a trapped star. Syl's knife pried it free, her heart racing. The moment she touched it, pain lanced through her hand, sharp as a blade. She bit back a curse, pocketing the orb. Alarms didn't ring, but the air shifted, heavy, like a storm brewing indoors. She fled, boots silent on the marble, unaware of the weight now tethered to her soul. By dawn, Syl was back in her attic hideout, the orb glinting on her table. She studied it, expecting gold in her future. Instead, a voice rasped in her mind, thief. Her knife was out in a flash, but the room was empty. The orb pulsed, and a figure formed, translucent, cloaked in tattered robes, its face a skull wreathed in shadow. "You took what binds me," it said, its voice grinding like millstones. "Now you carry my debt." Syl's stomach churned. She'd stolen from cutthroats, dodged city guards, but this was no mortal mark. The spirit followed her, invisible to others, whispering her sins. She saw flashes of her past, her brother's face, pale and still, after she'd abandoned him to save herself from a botched job. The spirit knew. "Pay the price," it said, "or I take you." She tried to ditch the orb, tossing it into Drenver's harbor. It reappeared in her pack, heavier, its glow darker. The spirit's whispers grew louder, its presence colder. Sleep brought nightmares, her brother's voice, accusing, drowning in blood. Syl's hand shook as she fenced stolen rings to eat, her reflection showing eyes too old for her face. The spirit was draining her, and the city's priests would burn her for touching their relic. Desperate, Syl sought answers in the underquarter, where outcast mages traded secrets for coin. An old woman, her fingers stained with ink, recognized the orb's description. "It's a warden's eye," she said, voice low. "Binds a soul to its keeper. Only blood breaks the bond, yours or another's, given freely at the temple." Syl's throat tightened. She'd spilled enough blood, none of it free. The spirit dogged her steps back to the temple, its whispers now screams. Pay or perish. Syl's plan was reckless. Sneak in, offer her blood, beg the gods for mercy. The temple loomed, its walls darker under a moonless sky. She slipped past guards, the orb burning in her pack. The pedestal stood empty, but the fonts glowed, their water rippling without wind. Syl drew her knife, slicing her palm. Blood dripped into the font, and the spirit howled, its form solidifying, clawing at her. Not enough, it snarled. She saw her brother again, his eyes forgiving, not accusing. The memory broke her. "Take me," she whispered, ready to end it. But the font flared, light swallowing the spirit's scream. A warmth spread, not divine, but human. Her brother's forgiveness, carried in her blood. The orb cracked, its glow fading. The spirit vanished, leaving silence. Syl staggered, alive, the curse lifted. She left the temple at dawn, the city waking around her. The orb was dust, her fortune gone. But her steps were lighter, her guilt quieter. Drenver's alleys still stank, but Syl walked them differently, her knife sheathed, her eyes on the horizon. Freedom wasn't coin, it was carrying herself. Thank you, amazing viewers. We're so grateful to you for listening to our story videos on English through stories. Your support for adventures like The Moth's Promise and The Bellmaker's Echo means the world to us. Keep learning English with us. More exciting stories are coming.